Gabrielle, you are an Amazon queen yourself.
Xena, it said that you have the power to kill gods.
I hope that is true. We have one more for you.
Who?
Ares, the god of war.
As we launched into the final season of Xena, we actually went and shot, I think, the first 8 episodes. And never felt that we had come back, rightly or wrongly, to address what was motherhood and Xena hitting Gabrielle with the chakram, Ares' role in any of that.
I don't do mortal at all well. I'm more of a, what is that word? God.
So we hired a poor first-time writer, Melissa Good, who, and gave her the insanely difficult task of, here's what we want to accomplish and address these issues.
Weren't these Amazon lands at one time?
They still are. Why do you ask?
No reason.
The episode itself was beautiful. There's this scene where, I think it's actually the beginning of the episode, when we reach a hilltop and it's just, this forest has just been decimated. And visually it was so stunning. And what happens is it's this forest that it's replanted every 25 years. And these trees grow very quickly. So they're huge trees, but it's the most interesting thing because they just knock the entire forest down and replant it every couple of decades. And of course, when the production crew found out they had just done this, they of course had to incorporate it into the episode. And visually it was incredible because it truly looks like, you crest the top of that hill and it looks like the end of the world.
That sword had better be for Ares' men. What Eve did to your people is unforgivable. But she is my daughter.
When Alex and Bob first proposed the idea that we freeze Xena and Gabrielle for 25 years, I instantly saw that as a huge benefit because it allowed you to have a mother and daughter relationship with the daughter old enough to actually have history and be her own person and have done all her growing up without the mother and be a crappy person, but be able to turn around and say, but you weren't there for me. I don't care that you were frozen in ice. I don't care about that. So that...
A lot of potential for conflict.
Yeah, it was such a great potential for conflict.
Your daughter, Xena? She is the reason we are so few in numbers.
Her army attacked us at night, and many of our best warriors were killed.
They were the lucky ones. Lucky to die.
Eve.
The relationship between Livia or Eve and Xena was certainly strained at the point of coming home. Eve was still figuring out who she was. But again, I don't think that there's any way that they could deny just genetically all the things that they shared beyond physicality. There's just so much that naturally you cannot deny through, your bloodlines. And I think that that creates a natural bond. At the same time, they were still figuring each other out.
I think we did as good as we could with realizing that relationship between the mother and the mother who realizes that the daughter's grown up to be somebody that she doesn't like or wouldn't like.
You sweetheart, why didn't you tell us?
I couldn't. I know how much the Amazons mean to both of you.
Did you think we would love you less?
What I did was unforgivable. You said so yourself.
I'd play it differently now.
You would?
Really?
Yeah, I really would. I'd play it with a lot more, just much more naturalistically, where you're not sure that you really even like this person. And because you wouldn't relate to a fully grown adult. And also, as you said, she's half Callisto.
Right.
So you'd always be looking for what parts of her are you and what parts are somebody else. And
creepy.
yeah, I would allow it to creep me out a little bit while trying to make inroads, while trying to care and do the right mother thing.
Right.
But my instinct would also be slightly cringing.
Yeah, the fact that she was raised by the Romans. And the culture around that, is the antithesis of everything that
wanted her to be.
I'd play it a little differently. I'd be smarter. Isn't that always the way?
Yeah, always.
Well, I could go back and do that again. I'd be smarter.
Geez, somewhere along the line, we were casting for what, I can't remember, a part, and this woman came in to read for it. She was so physically strong that we thought we could craft a role for her to utilize her strength and her character and her physical ability. So we kind of came up with this tough Amazon who we knew we were going to sprinkle in the final season, like we had tried to do with various other Amazons, but they always dropped out of the mix and not wanting to be Amazons anymore.
She had a lot of sex appeal too, and was a darn nice person to work with, to boot.
I love Chinina. She's awesome. And the most amazing fighter. I mean, brilliant. She was something like Miss Fitness USA or something the year or two before she was on Xena, and it shows. I mean, she had such presence in her fighting style. It was great. Beautiful. It was like watching a ballet, a violent ballet, but one nonetheless. She's so great to work with. There's a scene where if you look closely,
Take a look at this.
the two of us start essentially debating and bragging about who's done the worst thing. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then there's this part where I show this car. And if you watch this scene, both of us, our eyes are just glassy from the tears from laughing so hard. We finally got through it, but oh, did we get the giggles. Just when that hits, it's hard to get over it. And that one in particular was difficult.
Ares, ditch the armor. Ares, what's going on? Honey, sweetie, I love you, but you are suffocating me. Now get ready. We are gonna roll right over those Amazons, just like you said.
Ares, what are you talking about?
War, baby!
I think if there was going to be one man in Xena's life, it would be Ares.
Mr. Big.
Yes.
Yeah, Ares would be the Mr. Big. We'd find out that his real name is Brian.
Never give up, do you?
I don't think Xena ever could have got together with Ares. He did too many bad things over the years to her that if she ended up with him, she would just be another victim.
Wrong answer, Lucy. Wrong answer,
No,
Renee.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm kidding.
Just in, the whole thing was to keep them coming together, wanting having the audience root for them to get together. But,
Well, can't we root for the audience?
yeah, you can root for the audience. I just think, yeah, that was the game we played. But they could never have gotten together. I mean, they could get together in a lustful moment.
And frequently did.
What's the matter, God of War? You afraid of a girl?
You're kidding, right?
I love the fight between Xena and Ares, the quiet man fisticuffs into the ice, although they could never get the ice quite right.
It's over.
I love that fight. It reminds me when I was a kid seeing some Clint Eastwood having a bare knuckles fight. I have no idea what movie, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool for a woman to go one-on-one.
Kill her, kill her!
Well, I think they gave me sort of nose plugs, which didn't work very well. And I was in a vat, upside down, with a sheet of glass. Not glass, you know, plastic. That had been crafted to look like ice. And yeah, I remember just going.
I can't hear you. You tried to fool me. me, the god of war.
So when we did Motherhood, there was a whole scene between Ares and Xena. They got cut out, and then we pretty much put that dialogue at the very end of Coming Home, sitting on top of the saw-cut forest out at Wood Hills there, whatever that was.
Mortality stinks. Not to mention hurts.
Yeah, it does sometimes.
You have got a wicked right jab.
Sorry about that.
I always thought that was kind of weird.
It was.
Because after this fight and this big old trick that they'd played on him and nearly dying, it was all a little bit cozy in a way.
It was. I can't, it tells you how much I can't remember the context of that dialogue well enough, but I do remember it was in Motherhood, it got cut out for length, but we all liked it, and it was the reconciliation resolution between Ares and Xena.
And they
almost
nearly kiss,
yes.
and she says,
Or like 1 in a billion.
So you're saying there is a chance?
so I'm in
You're
there.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So it was cozy and intimate and buddies. But
It was.
no, it came pretty hard on the end of me being dead under your eyes, you know.
Well, Ares is good for that. He beats you senseless and gives you flowers, so. And you fell for it.
Every time.
The syndrome.